Sorry. Sorry, sorry. I know. I know. Let's do this song. At least a little more happened today than what you got last season for Work Wednesdays. It felt a little slow. Am I crazy? Felt a little slow. I swear to God, everyone took like 6 hour naps. We have a lot of day left. People start gaming at night, especially, but Jesus. Mickey playing the best game right now. She's doing great. Did you hear about the Physical 100 getting a USA version? It's good. Great show. It was slow, but at least no singing, I guess. Morgan's playing well. I liked her today more than I have in previous days. Jimmy pulled a Cory and got burnt. I did see that. The aloe vera hurts too. People underrate that. Naps are illegal in there now. When the backyard's open and there's no like ceremonies, they're usually pretty chill. I think it's just in that awkward part of the week where like there's too many scenarios as a result of the AI arena. So like people don't know what they're supposed to talk about, like which scenario they should focus on. It's a little weird. I think this is just a result of the arena. Like this Tuesday is always awkward, you know. They've been saying the same thing all day. Yeah, it's been like Amy campaigning and like not getting anywhere really. And then Zay just hanging out, yapping. And then Kelly being ridiculous every time she's on screen. Thank you, JPR. Are you slotted for Wednesday updates or just this week? Not every Wednesday, but I signed for a certain amount. I'll be around quite a bit. I think I'll probably do Wednesdays until law school, but who knows? What's the optimal boot on Thursday? I feel like it might be better for Rachel's game if Amy goes. Absolutely not. I think for Rachel, it's pretty unambiguously best if Kelly leaves. Maybe even Zay, but Kelly is weirdly just gunning for Rachel. Not that it's stupid to target the vet, but Kelly just wants to make a name for herself. I don't think she like strategically is targeting the vets. Thank you, JJ and Card Girl. I appreciate you guys. I was thinking it'd be impossible to keep up when school starts. It wouldn't. That wouldn't be the tough part. Watching the feeds, it would just be the updates would be at 11 Eastern, just right in the middle of the school day. So it'd have to be on weekends, and Puya's already got Fridays, so it's kind of. I think she's gonna make a name for herself first boot. Yeah, I have no strong opinion on who leaves. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, like look, I mean, we could talk about Zay for a bit at some point, but I think I prefer Kelly to leave. I just find her really grating on the feeds. But if you want to see Zay gone, I don't blame you. Like it's pretty frustrating. This happens every year. Look, I think the just talk about Zay for a second. It's like he says the R word, referring to himself. Clearly, he says it in his daily life. That much is clear. He's like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. I've been trying to stop," which is a better reaction than like some other reactions that you could have had. You know what I mean? Like it's not the worst reaction. It was a little bit more like, "Ooh, shit, I'm gonna get in trouble," more than like, "Ooh, I shouldn't say that. That's bad and is damaging for these reasons." Um, I think it's just naive to act like there aren't people like that in the world who say that casually. We all live in the world. Doesn't make it acceptable, but that's one of the words. Yeah, that's. I don't know why he said it like that. It was very concerning. Um. So yeah, and the idea of kicking him out, it just wouldn't ever happen. Let's just be realistic. If CBS took a hard line and said a slur is a slur, it doesn't matter the degree of it, I think we'd all be fine with that. That'd be, no one would criticize that. But this has happened every season for the past few. Like, they don't. This is not how CBS acts. They don't remove people. And also, I want to say this without diminishing the harm that the R word can do. I think when people pretend like the N word and the R word are one and the same in terms of their place in public rhetoric discourse, they're just not, right? Um, this, as frustrating it is, the R word's almost like re-entered the online, you know, diction, which is very, very bad, but they're used differently, colloquially. So, like, again, doesn't excuse anything, not acceptable, but I just think it's like we all know what it means to exist in this society. Like, they're talked about differently. It's not about accountability, it's about PR. Look, I mean, obviously, we've seen this season after season. If someone people love does something problematic, it has a very different reaction to when people, who people hate do something problematic, right? I'm happy they didn't cut feeds. Yeah, me too. I mean, look, it's the whole point of the live feeds is we can see people's actions and behavior and judge for ourselves instead of having to guess, right? Last season, they were cutting a ton of stuff, and then Tucker goes out saying that Leah must have been saying things, and now people have to speculate. Oh, is Leah saying this word or that word? And apparently, it had nothing to do with Leah. Like, this version is better than that version. You know what I mean? More people say it now than even when Jared said it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, are people who say it hateful? I don't know. You can make that determination yourself. I think ignorant is like the safe word to say. Like, that's indisputable. Whatever you believe beyond that, that's your read on these people's characters, and go for it. Whatever your read is. You know, some hateful, all ignorant. Exactly. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to cut feeds less with TV rating change and the disclaimer that is being shown more often. I don't think so. Like, I think someone at CBS probably got yelled at this morning for not cutting away from that. No, I agree, Lila. I agree. Like, that's. And I think what is somewhat frustrating about this whole situation, and like this happens every season, is like you can usually tell preseason who's at most risk of getting in trouble like this, you know? And like if we were able to predict it based on our very limited amount of information, I would hope casting could do the same thing. you know? I feel like I see more feed cuts today. I think it's been pretty normal. I think today's been less choppy than yesterday. Yesterday was crazy. I saw Lauren mention the exquisite night with Julie. Yeah, America's been curious, like how much of a fan is she? I think she's pretty legit. I don't think she's like a live feeder by any means. But whatever like the maxed out fan casual you can be, I think she probably is. So, she's been fun. She's been fun without actually doing anything. You know what I mean? It's not like she's done anything fun yet, but I think you can't help but root for her. Lauren said she would have turned down other reality shows today. She wanted to be on BB. I mean, she's probably. I don't know if she's lying, but like, I think she would have accepted other shows. It's like America. Like America wanted to be on Big Brother. All she cared about is Big Brother. But if they like shifted her over to Survivor, I don't see her saying no. Maybe Dondi, she said like maybe she would have said no, but I think it's just kind of hard when you get in the process and you start imagining how fun it could be. Sounds like she applied once and got on too. Yeah, I heard that. That just makes sense. She's 22. like, maximum she could have applied twice. Is the Superman curl tonight intentional or unintentional? It's a little intentional. It's like when I get out of the shower, I scrunch it up a little bit. I feel like Julie probably enjoys it. Like, I can imagine her watching even if it wasn't her job. That's a hot take. I think it seems like on 26, she started liking the show, and it's carried over to this season. She was very fun in the premiere. But I don't think Julie would watch if she wasn't, working for CBS. I'm just so curious if Lauren has or had Twitter. Doesn't seem like it to me. She doesn't strike me as a Twitter person. parentheses compliment. You know, it's a good song. Oh my god, I haven't heard this song in a long time. Wait, no. Oh, I like this song a lot. Loving the Burger Boys. Who's with me? Who's in the Burger Boys? So it's Will, Zay, Zach. Is Adrian's like being dragged along with them? Riley, Vince. It's all the boys except Adrian, Jimmy, and one other guy. How dumb it is for Ashley Amy wanting to go against Rachel plus the other women to get Zay out over Kelly. Okay, ultimately, I'm not like worried about that. Like they're all gonna vote together. I think for Rachel, it makes a lot more sense to go after Kelly. Because Kelly just made it her mission to go after Rachel for no reason. I think for the rest of them, it actually does make more sense to get rid of Zay, you know? Like, Zay could just be a much bigger problem. So I actually do get it. But, like, I would hope Rachel would fight pretty hard. I think it's pretty important she gets her way this week. Zay told Rachel twice to her face he's putting Rachel up. It's funny. Zay will probably go after Rachel, too. Yeah. But, you know, if you vote to keep him, that bodes well. Is Kelly going to win a comp? Zay is more likely. Yeah, I mean, so far there's been nothing remotely physical, so. Well, here's what I'll say. It feels like Zay's campaigning to all the women has fallen on deaf ears, except for Ashley. He, like, sold Ashley. Ashley's running around the house being like, I really hope Zay wins the arena so we could save you, Amy. You know what I mean? Like, Ashley is really on board. Amy, I can't tell with her because she's just trying to, like, save herself. I don't know exactly what's going on with Ashley. My feeling on Ashley is she just so desperately wants to go with the house because she was such an early target. I think the whole point for Eccles is they've adjusted stuff after our season, like as a result, as a response to it. What about Lauren? I couldn't tell with her. A lot of people are doing the thing where they're like saying to the nominee, and this happens in Big Brother, like tropes develop or like patterns develop. This season, the thing that they keep saying is like, I'm heavily leaning towards keeping you. I'm not going to confirm anything, but I'm heavily leaning that way. Which I think is pretty smart. Like, it kind of ends the conversation there. Like, what are you supposed to do? Thank you, CC Rewind. I appreciate it. Thanks for the tier 1. I don't think Amy's looped in Rachel. I wouldn't be worried. It's not like Amy is no longer loyal to Rachel. It's just they haven't had the chance to talk. Rachel's been in like a public group all day. Now she's going to be cooking for a few hours. Like, if they're going to talk, it's going to be tonight. And there's still a lot of time before the eviction. I would have killed for a Felicia Cory final too. I would have killed for it too. That would have been a lot of money to my name. Mickey is winning. Look, I think Mickey's doing great. It's hard to find anything to criticize. But, you know, you got to see how she plays actively. Because right now she's just been kind of doing a really great job socially, which is huge. But we got to see if she has that strategic dog in her. Who, in your view, are the different sides of the house as of now? It feels like it's men versus women, with some of the men not being fully on board with the men. Where it's like all the men are working together. Will is a bit ambiguous where he stands. I think Adrian is very ambiguous where he stands. Jimmy, obviously, is not really with the bros. But on the women's side, like, Kelly is just kind of with Vince. And then we don't really know about Lauren and Catherine. So that's the kind of way I would talk about it. Like, there's the girls, who I would count, like, Ashley and Rachel and Amy and Mickey. Trying to think if anyone else I'd put in that category. That's kind of the main ones. Maybe Ava, like whatever. And then on the other side, you have the boys, which is like Zach, Vince, Zay, kind of Morgan, but she's going the other way. Like these are the kind of two sides. Catherine and Lauren are kind of in a weird spot in the middle, and then like Will and Adrian are in a weird spot in the middle. And then Jimmy's kind of all over the place. Like Jimmy seems to be working with the guys more, but he talks a lot more with the women. Yeah. When do you take out Rachel? You can't let her stay long. She's too good. Is she? Look, I put Rachel as my front runner yesterday. I think she's probably the best player in the house currently. But she's not running the house in any capacity. Like, I would treat Rachel like a normal player at this point. Obviously, you keep it in the back of your mind that she has to go, but I don't think this is like an all hands on deck. We have to stop this train before it picks up too much speed. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't feel like a returning player season yet. Is anyone else getting that feeling? That's just kind of my read on everything. It's like, it doesn't feel like Paul. It doesn't feel like Suri. It doesn't feel like Jesse. Or BB13. Like, the whole house does not revolve around Rachel. She's been playing fine. She hasn't been a problem, but it's a different vibe. Not too many people are starstruck. She played a long time ago. If Tucker was in there, they would be starstruck, you know? She's a much bigger threat than Suri because she can win comps and influence people. I don't think Rachel's a bigger threat than Suri at all. I don't think that's a hot take either. Even without like Jared and Izzy. Because also, we don't know exactly where Rachel is with comps these days. Comps have changed a lot, and of course, she's 15 years older. But she's still better than Suri, but Suri's a lot better than Rachel at like social strategy and her social game and strategic, you know, just in general. I think Rachel HOH could really benefit her position. Yeah, it'd be huge. I think any HOH on that side really helps Rachel. If Amy wins, if Ashley wins, if Mickey wins, anything. Rachel understands how to pace the game better than Suri. Yeah, she's not bouncing off the walls as much. I mean, she's done Big Brother before. She mentioned the cruise today. That's huge. I was waiting for her to. What'd she say? I don't know if I can handle watching another Tucker season. Like, but are you saying like a Tucker kind of season or actually Tucker? Tucker on this season would be pretty brutal. Just because how much it's not Tucker's fault. Just how many of the people in the house revere him. Like he would have a cult around him. I would say I can't help but fucking love Keanu. Keanu's so funny. Let's see. What are these guys talking about? What is Morgan talking about? Can you guys hear the audio that I'm playing? Seeing Howie on the cruise yesterday? Gotcha. No, okay, good. Morgan's pushing so hard for Zay to go. This is something I did with Suri, or about Suri. It was around the double eviction. Suri went and told everyone in the house that she was not going to nominate them. And then I went to everyone else in the house and said, hey, I just talked to everyone in the house, and she simply said she wouldn't nominate a single person. Morgan's the gamer. And like Suri was already doing poorly, but it kind of kept pushing her in that bad position. But I literally was like, okay, she promised me an America safety. She promised you guys safety, Matt and Jag? They're like, yep. I'm like, okay. Mimi Felicia, they promise you safety? They're like, yep. I'm like, well, there's no one left in the house. Bowie, they promise you safety? Yep. So that's what Morgan's saying Zay is doing. I'm watching the feeds right now. This is my watching the feeds screen. Will's leaning towards keeping Amy. Love to see that. I was nervous Will would go all in with the bros, but I mean, he's a women's basketball podcaster. I think he's got all daughters. Does that make sense? Is that real though? I would think so. It's not like Morgan is desperately trying to keep Amy necessarily. She just wants Zay out, you know? Look, Amy's conversations today were totally fine. I think if she was the target, her conversations didn't help her not be the target. But considering how the target's ambiguous right now, I think her conversations were fine. I'm trying really hard to like Ashley, y'all. I've liked her more today than yesterday. Ugh, Morgan talking about the snake shit again. Thoughts on Lauren? A couple of the girls today were saying she's a boys' girl and not trying to talk to them. Just stupid rhetoric. I mean, come on. Stop with that. Morgan just seems very like hung up on stuff. Like she hasn't. I like her pushing to get rid of Zay, but she hasn't stopped pushing 1 second in the past like 3 days. And I get it. It's just like I feel like for Morgan, it's not that important to get rid of Zay. You know, it's good for her to get rid of him, pick off one of the guys, but she's going hard. You know what I will say? I think Vince is going to be kind of miserable this season to watch because I think he's going to make it pretty far. Low key, I would think Vince like is going to make it jury at least. The way he plays is super cautious. You know what I mean? Very slow, very relationship buildy. A lot of crying to people. Like I think he's got a long duration in this house. He's not a Wurtenberger disciple. I don't think there aren't any this season. How do you think Zach will do? I'm trying to figure out if Zach's actually a good player. I can't tell. So far, so good. He code switches pretty well. Talks very differently to different people. I'm watching the Will Morgan Mickey conversation. I really like Will. I feel like Will's very good at like acting engaged and interested in a conversation that he actually doesn't care about at all. Like Morgan keeps just talking about herself and the snake and the different things people are saying about her, and Will doesn't care, but he's pretending to care quite a bit. Vince's biggest problem could be getting jury votes. It's no one's biggest problem is getting jury votes yet. She's coming in strong to set the tone for the season. Shirley was emphasizing how organic her connection with Rachel and Mickey. I feel like she's committed to laying a strong foundation. She's made headway. I don't think it's as planned as you're like implying. Like she's trying to do this, but you know, by playing actively, she is doing that, right? Intentionally or not. But if it doesn't work and it backfires on her, that might set the tone in the other direction. Oh, whoa, you don't want to do too much. You know what I mean? Morgan doesn't let other people speak in combos. Yeah, that's my big criticism with her. She's very much the leader. I don't think she's meant to be like a lackey in an alliance, you know? My concern with Will is like, who's Will's number one? I don't think there's an answer. I think in his head it might be like I don't know. I see him talk to Adrian a lot, but they're not like a duo. He needs like an ally, like someone really in his corner. Him and Ava. Yeah, they had a good chat earlier, but it felt very much like, hey, we don't talk that much. What's going on, Ava? Mickey? I don't think so. That's the problem with him. He's just a little too uninvolved with like intimate relationships. Everything's a little bit surface level. It also feels like Will buys into the Keanu stuff more than just about anybody. You know? Am I? Is anyone else getting that read? Everyone doesn't really take Keanu seriously. I think Will takes him more seriously than everyone else. Can she maintain this level of activity through 80 days? Some people are just built like that. She's a streamer. She's a model. I assume she's like more social than me. So like I ran out of gas, but I don't know if she will. Like Jag never ran out of gas. He wasn't doing as much as me or Morgan strategically at the start or anything, but like some people just have a deeper social battery or bigger social battery. I like Ava, but she has hardly played the game yet at all. She just doesn't care to play. Yeah, it's giving. I mean, Terran compared to Rabina, and I could see that. Obviously, it's early, so she's a lot of time to play better than Rabina, but I don't. You don't want to be too high on anybody just because people like her. You know, we have to see her do something. She was crying today, missing her family, which is no shame in that. Obviously, like, no problem. But it's only day 7, so it's like, all right, let's make sure that this is, she can handle this. Because she's been so passive, it's hard to tell if it's like intentional or if she's just kind of, you know, really not a player. Nah, Keanu won't make it far, but I do enjoy him. She'd be in the frenzy. I could see that. I like that call. Did Ava cry over her family before Amy did? I mean, look, we had like 6 days off feed, so maybe Amy's cried a few times. Who knows? Yeah, I really hate that when players make deals, right? Not a lot, not relationships. They want deals. I think that shit is so dumb. If someone came to me like, "Yo, Corey, do you want to do a 2 truce?" I'd be like, "That's shady as hell." What do you mean? You don't want to just work together? Like, the fuck do you mean a 2 week deal? I think it's so goofy. Do you watch Quad View? Nah, not usually. I was trying to get BB Viewer to work. I was having problems with it. Yeah, I'm sure it's that, Amanda, but you gotta force it, you know? Morgan saving Amy first. That's her take. Doesn't work. Yeah, gotcha. Just on Firefox, gotcha. Rooting for everyone except the strong guys. That's just BB25 trauma talking. It's a lot of people to root for then. Who are they talking about? Ashley. Yeah, Ashley's weirdly pro keeping Zay. Like it's been, I don't know. Zay's campaign just worked. I think my read is she doesn't actually care about keeping Zay necessarily, and it's more just like she wants to be on the right side of the vote, which I do understand from the supposed target. Like I get that instinct, even if it's wrong. Who are the villains of the season? I think the only person you could really consider like thematically a villain is like Vince. Obviously, you could say Zay's a villain, but he's just been on the block the whole time. He hasn't, had the chance to be. Oh, Jimmy, yeah, Jimmy. You could say Jimmy. Jimmy's been chill today. He hasn't done too much. God, Zay needs to talk to Morgan. Like, this is rough. I don't think Keanu could enter that territory. I think he's too bad at the game. It's like, would you consider Heisem a villain? Do you think a strong women's alliance could happen? Look, I think this season has a much greater chance of it than any season in recent memory. It doesn't feel like there's too many showmance stuff happening. And like a lot of the women very naturally want to work together. You know? Like Rachel, Amy, Mickey, Morgan's kind of heading in that direction. Ava would be happy to go in that direction. The only real risks are like Kelly. Lauren has a lot of relationships on the other side, and Catherine is a little bit less dangerous. But like, this is the best shot we've had in quite a bit. The problem is there any guys that these women would rat to? Would anybody rat out to Zach? Because like, forget about Lauren. People are so worried Lauren because she's not a girl's girl. It's gonna rat to Zach, her showman. I'm worried about Morgan ratting to Zach. You know what I mean? Like they're in a tight group. So I don't think like, and I wouldn't even blame Morgan for it if she trusts Zach more. But does Keanu's alliance building remind you of Jag's early gameplay? Jag wasn't that bad. I mean, like Jag was horrible weeks 4, 5, and 6, but weeks 1 and 2, it was kind of just circumstances were fucking really bad, and he wasn't reacting well. Keanu has never seen the shit. Like Keanu, I think is on a different level in terms of weeks 1 and 2. Burger Boys top 5 alliance name. It is a good name. Nah, chaotic. Jag was playing. I don't know what you're talking about. Honestly, Jag, Riley, Blue, mostly Jag and Blue were playing pretty hard. They were the only ones doing family style stuff. Maybe a little bit of not Matt, not Riley. Cameron was doing a little bit, but he was doing his own shit. But they were playing hard, just very ineffectively. The only people who weren't playing at the start really was like Matt, for obvious reasons. America was really starting slow, and that's about it. From that side of the house, obviously there's like Bowie and Red and all them, but from the family style side. So did they just make us like she just like tossed out her idea for a 7-person alliance? What is it? Will, Mickey, Jimmy, Rachel, Ashley. Wasn't America sick? I think her plan was just to lay low at the start. Yeah, Vince was there. They listed Vince. But she just started really slow. It's not looking good for Catherine, I fear. Yeah, but she'll be fine. Like, how does Catherine go home? It's kind of like Leah. Like, Leah was doing so bad for so long, but she was never in trouble, really. Kind of similar to America, except America was actually in trouble. America was in danger, even if, she never really ended up on the block. What do you mean the next 3 weeks? That's so silly. Yeah, this group makes no sense. Will, Mickey, Jimmy, Rachel, Ashley, Vince, Morgan. Like, it makes some sense, but what the fuck is Vince doing in this group? Like, why is Vince included here? Vince is an op to these people. That's in the red walls in the HOH room. I don't mind the red walls because I have red walls in my bedroom, but I don't like the tile. The tile makes it seem so not cozy. Girls need to scoop up Adrian. Yeah, Adrian's got to just do something. I think Adrian should try to talk to Will. I feel like they need each other as like players kind of in the middle. Will's doing better than Adrian, but I really like how Will's playing this. Who did Will just say he's going to target? Will is in a men's alliance. We don't know who he's loyal to. I think he's just playing the middle. But I like Mickey starting an alliance. It bodes well for her activity. Keanu's like the house target. He said Keanu. Okay. Mickey's going for Riley, kind of. Was Riley on Cory or America's draft? America. My draft is looking a lot better than America's right now. I think she has Amy and Kelly. I have Zay, so that, it's not good. But yeah, I think my draft's looking quite a bit better. I like the way Mickey talks because, like, she says names, but she hedges so hard. She's like, I think I would gun for Riley. I would hate to gun for Riley. I love Riley. I actually want to work with Riley, to be honest, but I think I'd have to put him up. You know? I will say, though, it's like a bad move, like, before your HOH to talk about all three of your nominations. You don't got to be that detailed. Just make it clear, like, oh, I'd be one of, like, that side. Like, obviously, it wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be in contention. But you just leave yourself a little bit exposed when you give specific names, because if Will is loyal to the Burger Boys, that could be really bad, you know? Did you ever release the BB Bingo cards? Are they just hypothetical? I wish you haven't made it. Yeah, we gotta do that. Brittany's so dumb. It's funny. We made the bingo card. We haven't, like, made it physically yet. I think Will is being pretty truthful to Mickey. Yeah, I'm feeling lower and lower on Ava. She just feels a bit fish out of water. Did you have shower scene on it, or am I misremembering? Because if so, you can cross that off. That is funny. America did put shower scene, which is very specific to have already popped up. She's adjusting. Yeah, she has time. I mean, she's not a threat. She's not going to be targeted. I would love Adrian to turn it on a bit more. He's been a little too low key for my liking. For a player who, like, who would have thought that would be our criticism of Adrian? Yeah, Will likes Ava. Adrian pulling in America. So far, it's might be less damaging this time than it was for America because the house is forming a little slower in terms of like real structures, whereas 25 was moving fast that first week. But I like Will and Ava as a duo. I think that's really fun. I wonder if he sees her as a daughter. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they're similar age, his daughters. Captain Will, Lauren, Mickey, Ava, Final Four. Hey, we'll see. Come back at the Final Four if you were right. Adrian was saying he was going to be the greatest of all time. Slow. Yeah, look, hey, he's had a better week than week one than Dan both times, frankly. So that's good. Not as good as a Derek start. Better start than Will. Give him that. So what's to criticize? If you're in the house after watching, who would you have aligned with? I think Will, Adrian. They seem low key, smart. Lauren, you know, Rachel, of course. Yeah, look, Lauren could be in trouble. If people really link Lauren with Zach and Zach has this veto power thing, she could catch a stray. Like, this is a huge day for Morgan, though. Like, Morgan basically dipping from the heavy hitters over to the women is great because, like, even though if Zay survives, Zay might gun after her if he finds out that she's, like, leading the charge. But she's still good with, like, Vince and Zach, who are, like, two of the power players on that side of the house. So if she's close with them and she has all the women and she has the floaters, I feel like her position is kind of skyrocketed today. Because otherwise, her social relationships were just a little bit lacking. I feel like she's made a lot of progress there. You and Mickey would be strategy sisters, I fear. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if we just gel that well. I think it's easy to gel with Mickey. Like she's probably just gets along with everybody. But I feel like we would get along well, but not necessarily be super close. It's kind of like me and Suri. Like I always felt less close to Suri than I did Izzy or Jared. First of all, Suri's much older and just so much different life experience. But like I could tell Suri was good, but she didn't do a great job specifically bonding with me. I didn't feel connected to Suri in that way. Thank you, Anonymous, for the 5 gifties. I appreciate it. How are you doing? 20 away from 300. Hopefully, we can get that by the end of the week. I think we have a special stream coming on Thursday, by the way. If you guys are excited for that, I got some good ideas. Ooh, what's this talk in this room? What's going on here? We got Jimmy and who? Jimmy and Ava. But thank you so much, Anonymous. I appreciate it. Watch along in the Patreon Thursday. That's confirmed. We're doing that. I think I'm gonna do a stream from immediately after the episode to when we have noms. I think we're gonna do an all nighter, not a 24-hour, but like an all nighter. I think could be pretty fun because we'll wait for HOH. You know, it'll be like a 12-ish hour stream. We're not doing 24 hours, and I might back out of this, but that's my tentative idea. So I'll let you know. It's definitely gonna be for charity if we do it. Yeah. I'm so over Ashley and Vince BSing each other, but I think Ashley might buy it. Am I crazy? I feel like there's been so many of those chats today of people just pretending to make nice, even though they're clearly not making nice. But Will just cam talked. I missed it. I missed it too. I switched the conversation. I have to make amends. I don't want your family to hate me. What a stupid thing to say. But I really do think like the way Vince handles himself socially, it reminds me of Nicole Franzel, not like specifically because they do the same thing or even a similar thing, but like I think their social ability is annoying but effective. Like the way they handle other people. Like I don't think there's any sentiment that Vince sucks in the house. You know what I mean? Did not even consider the possibility for Eccles. Ashley and Rachel genuinely think they're good with Vince. Yeah. Vince is very worried how it'll be viewed by the public. I understand it. You just gotta chill and not verbalize it as much because it's kind of annoying. But obviously, I was thinking the same thing. I just wasn't talking about it that much. Uh oh. Who's about to talk? Zach is just joining the big group. I don't know where Will's going. I want to see Will talk to the guys and see what he exposes, if anything. I guess, Freckles. I think I'm in 7 alliances right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's good. He sounds very convincing to each group of alliances, and nobody thinks he's super duplicitous. People do kind of have the idea that he's playing the middle, but that's fine. Like having the perception of playing the middle does not make you a threat, unless you have someone specifically like anti-middle people, you know? But I love Will's position. Love Will's position. I don't know if he has the ability to play it well, but if he just plays pretty chill, that could be effective. But thank you so much, Anonymous. I appreciate it. The 5 gifted. I saw some familiar faces getting those subs. People just see Will as an easy number. Yeah, but he's the old guy in the house. We'll take it. You know? And if he has game savviness, if he's able to like rope in Ava, like there's a path. Will winning season could be legendary. He's off to a much better start than, I mean, Terrence, I guess, was off to a good start, but I hated Terrence. You know, outside of that. Will and Vince are in similar positions. They both keep getting pulled into every alliance. Yeah, I mean, they're in similar positions, but Vince is way more active. Like, Vince reminds me of myself, where he kind of barges into every room and starts talking strategy, regardless of what was being talked about before. Like, Riley's showering, and Vince just walks in and starts game talking, you know? Ava and Will could coast to the endgame with a Bowie Jane type strategy. Um, yeah, the Bowie Jane signature strategy is kind of just flocking to the HOH. Like, flocking to the HOH and playing everyone. Like, pretending like everyone is her number 1 and 2, you know? Like, everyone thought they had Bowie. But I think the real, like, signature thing she did was whoever was HOH, she was with them for the week, you know. You gonna do a thing on Patreon where you give the house guest advice every week? I didn't like that segment because often the advice would be the same week to week. I'd be like, hey, you should go work with this person. And then they don't do it. I'm like, well, the answer's still the same. So maybe I'll think of a different way of doing it. I'm not exactly sure. Podcast tonight? Yeah, we already recorded it. I just gotta edit and upload. I'm only streaming for about like 40 more minutes. It'll be an hour and a half. Is Poe doing her live feed updates on TikTok again? I'm not sure. I hope so. I wonder if Will's podcast is a call-in type show because he's a great listener. Maybe. He's also just older. You know? Yo, Quinn. Look at you rating me. Why are you streaming so early? I saw you were playing some Fall Guys. As a contestant on the cast, was Bowie kept around because people believed she wasn't really playing the game? Yeah, I mean, people underestimated her, but also she just wasn't really a threat to anybody. There's just, I mean, everyone had so many threats in the house to deal with, so. The Maroon Wave. Quinn's going to be on a podcast in like 10 minutes. Ooh, huge. Oh, Reality Kingdom. They're the best. They're really fun to podcast with. I did one for 26 during, I believe it was your week you were nominated, Quinn. It was the America's Veto week. And it was funny because like every ranking had the caveat of like, well, Quinn's going to be the next HOH, so we had to discuss it in that context, you know. All my faves loving each other. I love my life. Oh no, me and Quinn hate each other. It's all for show. Can I say something? This might be a hot take. Vince kind of hot. Am I crazy? He's got very luscious hair and just kind of a pretty face. He's pretty hot. You see, you got people thinking Quinn was MAGA on social media with your dry jokes. I'm curious, what do you mean when you say thinking he's MAGA? What do you mean by that? I'm confused. The hair does it for me. Yeah, it's annoying because he's meant to be like the loser nerd, but he's pretty hot. This does not feel like my representation. I think the hot is the wrong adjective, though cute and endearing. Hey, you use your words, I'm gonna use mine. I'm gonna double down. He's hot, hot. As a bald man, I'm just pissed he hides that hairline behind those damn beanies. Cool Squirtle glasses punching the air. Hot is hot. He is smexy. Oh, I haven't heard that word in years. Everyone on this cast is attractive? No. Actually, time for me to do a ranking. Most to least attractive. Coming in at number 1, Vince. Nah, this is a very attractive cast. This is a pretty attractive cast. It is very funny because, like, I feel so much more comfortable talking about men's looks than women's looks, which, like, makes sense. I think it would be in much poorer taste if I was like, oh, this chick is, damn, she. That'd be weirder, right? But it is funny because like I talk very often about how like Cam from 26 is super hot, you know, because I feel like I feel more comfortable talking about like Cam than you know any of the women on the cast. That'd be weird. Your hair looked fire on BB. Problem is, there's a lot of top-down camera angles, and there's a bit of a bald spot. Bit of a bald spot. You know what? I don't know why they edit it into the live feeds. Seems like a lot of effort to hide my good hair. America is hotter by a million over these girls and BB26. Just saying. Well, that's something we can agree upon. Is it a filter? It feels like a filter, right? If you're asking about the background, this is actually my library. Your wedding hair looked great. Yeah, we put mousse in. Cam26 feels like he may be the hottest guy in New Era BB. I think it's him or Joseph Abden, right? Him or Joseph, maybe Xavier, if you can get over the whole bald thing. Derek X. Yeah, Derek X is a good answer too, right? I think for me, actually, it would be Joseph. No, I think it'd be Derek X. I think Derek X is more my type. Joseph's too ripped. Let men bald. It is actually allowed? Mods get him. No balds allowed. I will say, I said this on a stream yesterday. Will, a special kind of bald. He's so bald. I love it. He's actually great representation for me in 10 years. America's New TikTok's funny. She posted it. I'm glad. She's working on it for a while. You see, you made the top 10 of a hottest BB men TikTok going around. Yeah, I did see it, Mountain Doofus. And the first comment was like, the second I saw Cory on this list, I knew it was about to be some bullshit. And Quinn was like 4. I was like, this is a bullshit. Tartar was like 3. I was furious. I think they had Vince at 1. Cameron was 9 in the one I saw. Cameron's 4. I think there's multiple ones of these going around, Brianna. But yeah, it was fucked up. That list sounds quite white. It was just all the nerds, basically. But it wasn't all white, you know. Daniel BB24 would be number 1, probably. Nah, you can't be hot with that personality. It's just impossible. He's shockingly tall, though. 6'3" is crazy. Is America doing commentary on Bachelor in Paradise? Not that I know of. Amy and Vince Showmance would be like Amanda and McCrae. I don't think it would be like that. It'd be a very different dynamic. It is funny, though. Is Ashley actually bad, or she just seems bad at BB? I think she's bad. I don't think she's horrendous, but I think she's bad. I have to do my reality stock watch. I'm going to do that right now, but I don't want to show you guys, because then someone could just copy me. Because I have a very strong philosophy for my reality stock watch. Wait, so how does the reality stock watch work? When can I buy? What's the buying period? It should be up, but it's not. Okay. So let me know, guys, when it's up. Because I have a very clear buying philosophy right now that I think is pretty obvious based on how I've been talking about certain players. Adrian and Lauren need to reheat the Americory nachos. Quinn Leah failed us last year. Are you guys willing to accept that Quinn and Leo, you guys wouldn't like that as Quinn fans? No shade, but I don't think they were meant for each other. Yeah, I think it worked out best for everyone. Thank you, Rune Queen, for gifting Lila. I appreciate it. Look, I think the America and me thing, it's just hard to replicate because like the America of the season usually isn't a fan, or like the America of the season, like you have to. And I guess you're saying Lauren's kind of similar, but like there's not even a guy who's a big enough fan to match Lauren, if she's as big of a fan as we think. It's almost like an impossible thing to do again because they just don't cast fans as much. Adrian, yeah, I guess. There's no Cory. There's not this season. I think the closest is Adrian, but yeah. Adrian's Cory 2.0. He's not playing like me, but maybe if I wasn't on the block at the start, I'd be playing more passively, but I wouldn't be playing this passively. I was always having a lot of chats. But I think right now I see the most of myself in Adrian, for sure, in terms of how he's playing. Adrian with All Stars 2 in his top 4 seasons. I kind of like All Stars 2, but top 4 might be a bit of a stretch. Yeah, I don't get the Ashley hype yet, but it just feels like there's so much Vince and Ashley trying to convince each other that they're cool with each other, and neither of them believe each other. I don't see the Laura and America comparisons at all. I do. I think it's a very tenuous, maybe not tenuous, a very like there's not much there, but they're both kind of from the south, smaller brunettes who are like the super fans, more like Haley Brocker. Yeah, it's another good comparison, but I would even put Haley in that same bucket. So I get the comparisons, but they're very different, of course. She doesn't strike me as a feedster. No. We don't know Lauren's personality yet. Yeah, but you didn't know America's personality either, week 1. So just, hold off a bit. Riley is such an enigma this season. I can't figure him out. Like, what's his deal? I loved his conversation with Vince earlier. I thought that was really fucking good. So basically, Vince was talking to Riley and was like, "So I'm worried about being targeted next week." And Riley was like, "Dude, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna win the veto and take you off. Don't even think about that. You're so safe. I got you." Like that's some good shit to hear. I'd feel really good about Riley if I was Vince. Vince said he's a feedster. He could be. I wouldn't put it past him. Like Quinn was a massive fan, made a ton of mistakes. I was a massive fan, made some mistakes. America's a massive fan, made mistakes. Like being a life eater doesn't mean you're not gonna make the same mistakes other people do. Like it's just easier on the outside. And look, I never made these kinds of mistakes, but I also never really was in power, so yeah, Ava's gotta start cooking soon. You wouldn't have put up your ally? Yeah, no. Vince said that, but also asked which camera was for the live feeds. It's not a great sign, but yeah. I mean, the thing is, Ava has a pretty soft landing spot. Like she has a lot of time to figure it out. It's just will she be capable of figuring it out? It's so funny how Riley looks on the feeds compared to who he's supposed to be, like the cowboy, the bar rider. He's got like the black tank, the backwards hat, all the tattoos. Like he looks more Marshall Mathers than he does Whistlenut. I think it's so funny. You see him walking around. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? He sounds like a cowboy. Yeah, he does. My biggest issue with Riley is I feel like the second he's targeted. All right, well, who's talking here? Is Kelly and Zach? I'm trying to get a read on Zach if he's actually good. Go back to that conversation. You're so fucking annoying. Ugh. Kelly's talking about throwing the fucking blockbuster again. No, that's Riley Freckles. Theoretically, allegedly. Yeah, Riley's been talking game. It was funny earlier today. I think I saw Morgan go up to him and like remind him who's in the heavy hitters. What are your thoughts on the Will Mickey conversation? I thought it was a good talk. It was a great talk. I'm just curious where Will actually stands. I think he just stands in the middle, but God, why would they cut away from that Zach Kelly conversation? God. Someone's got to tell me why the fuck I'm still watching Vince and Ashley talk at each other. Who do you want to see go home this week out of the three noms? I think Kelly. She annoys me the most. I don't think she's like fun chaos. It's just annoying. If you stuck with Trim, he wanted to be in manually. They would never do that. That'd be too much control for us. Too much for them to monitor, but yeah, that'd be awesome. Zay saying helps the male alliance. I just don't know if the male alliance is real to anybody, really, you know? I'm also kind of confused. I mean, I get why Jimmy's not in it because he's connected to a lot of people, but Jimmy was one of the big people pushing for Zay to stay. Does Kelly think she's Tucker 2.0? Yeah, she said that. So far, Tucker's outplaying her, which is not a sentence I expected to say this season. It's real if they win an HOH, which depends on who wins the HOH. If Will wins, I don't think it's that real. But if Zay wins, that could be real. I love Keanu, though. Keanu's also not in the men's alliance. Like, he's probably my dream HOH outcome, because I don't know what the fuck he would do. He would remind me of, what's his name from BB Can 12, who nominated his best friend. I could see that being him, you know? The guy, like, week 3 or 4. Not Goose. Vivek, yeah. Vivek. Keanu would be Cory's favorite pre-jury. There's no way he makes it to jury. 7-person jury, no fucking way. I think he's gone before the 9-person jury, you know, before final 11. I would expect him to be gone, but I'd hope for him to stick around. He's insane. Wait, what the fuck? Zay was in the room? I didn't realize that. I like I muted the wrong thing. I like Jimmy because he does the same negative self-talk that I do. And he's not that serious about it, and neither am I. I feel like it's really funny. Him just like continuously being like, you fucking idiot, Jimmy. God damn it. Like, yeah, I do that. America would be like, are you okay, Cory? I'm like, yeah, man. I would get very toxic though. I'd be like, I fucking hate you, Cory. You're miserable. You fucking suck. And it's like, whoa, Cory, you okay? I'm like, yeah. Why? I'm chilling. You know who Jimmy looks like a bit to me? He looks a bit like what's the guy's name from Catfish? Not Cowboy, the host. Is it Neve? It's kind of like a bit like Neve and a little bit like the guy from the Carbonara Effect. Carbonara, Dave Carbonara, whatever his name is. That's kind of what I see a little bit with him. Happy Ava's feeling better. Yeah, she's just sad. It happens. I feel like Kelly reminds me of someone famous, but I can't think of who. That's interesting. I don't see that really. It is very funny though how misleading the preseason was. Where like we all thought Adrian and Ava would be cracked out, and they're probably the two biggest non-factors of the season. Super interesting. Good for Adrian being able to play this fake ass character in casting. Ava, I don't think was playing as much of a character, but like she was obviously putting it on. Thank you, Freckles, for the sub. I appreciate it. Welcome to the chat. No more ads for you. This is huge. Nah, I said Jimmy looks a little bit like Neve from Catfish. The ads are what did it for me. That's the design that Twitch is going for. they got you. But I appreciate it. I'll be streaming quite a bit, so hopefully you get your money's worth. Does anybody know why people don't like Kelly? I haven't watched her much in the feeds. People just don't really bond with her socially. She's very quirky. She has a bit of an oddball personality, which isn't bad by itself, but she's also like dominating conversation. So I think that combination is kind of off-putting to people. Not to mention that gameplay-wise, she's insane. You know? She asked Amy if her boobs were fake. That's incredibly rude. I think there's a context in which you could do it that's not rude. Like, just girlies talking amongst girlies. Like, maybe if you had your, like, breasts augmented, then you could be like, oh, I got these. Did you ever? Oh, it's, maybe it could just be girl chat, but I could see that going negatively a lot of ways. All right, we got Zay and Vince. Oh, Will's in there too. I get Adrian though; he's just shy and will get more comfortable as the season goes. Yeah, he's following the America Lopez playbook. And I think it's going to pan out actually even better for Adrian because it's not like there's a Surrey in there just organizing the troops. Rachel's not playing like that. And I don't think she can. Like, it's not Rachel's playstyle. I hear you, hey bub, but let's give her a chance to do something before we assume that's going to happen. I mean, people were hanging on to the hope that Mimi would do something up to like week 9. So, like, I don't mean to be like shading Mimi for no reason, but I think like a lot of these players who you like and they seem smart and they seem with it, after a week or two, they kind of are what they are, and you should never expect them to like flip a switch and change their game dramatically. I think that's always a mistake. T-Core is certainly a player in that category too. Rabina, Chemo, all of them. There's like very few players who like play chill and then turn it on. That's not a thing. America is honestly one of the very few. Like week 1, she was doing very little, but even still, she was like trying to, keep Kirsten somehow and build something with Mimi, and she still was in family style. Like she had more going on than Ava. Still find it so funny that Rachel asked y'all about how Suri played in the cruise, and we find out she's on the season. I'm sure that's why she asked it. In retrospect, it is very funny. You think Rachel would brawl with anyone this season? I think the most likely person for her to brawl with is either Zay or Jimmy. Jimmy just gets into it with people. She'll get into it with Kelly if Kelly goes after her for no reason. If anyone goes after Rachel, she'll respond. That's not a concern. It's just, will anyone want to get into it with her? That was a fun week. And they still almost didn't flip, you know? But they did. Tucker seemed chill as fuck, did nothing week one, then he went full Tucker. Yes, but he, like, week one, you could still tell he was kind of insane strategically. Like, he was the guy saying he didn't want to make alliances because it was too soon. You know, like, you could tell something was off, but you could never have predicted exactly what he was going to do. I know it's early, but prediction for America's Favorite Houseguest. I would put, like, a substantial amount of money on it being Zach. Doesn't it feel like it's going to be Zach? That seems like much, much, much more likely than any alternative. Week one was also the Angel blow up. Sure. Rachel. Yeah, but like, I mean, it could be Rachel. Could be Rachel. I mean, Rachel's the smartest bet, but like, Cameron beat Suri, you know? Almost unfair for Rachel's AFP. Yeah, if she wins, it's kind of bullshit, but what are you going to do? This is how it works. Like Paul didn't win AFP. In fact, Paul's biggest opposition won AFP, right? Do you think the season's been better than last season? So far, I mean, I think so, yeah. Like, 2 days of feeds, yeah, but beyond that. Did you think you or America were going to be top three AFP? I thought I stood a chance. I would have been very surprised if America did. I was worried for America and how she'd be perceived, just being a woman in a showman's and the age dynamic. I was a little bit worried for her. But I thought the list, we talked about it in jury. I thought Suri was obviously a lock. I thought Matt had a good shot. I thought Cameron had like the underdog shot. Jag, we were much higher on. I thought Jag would have a shot. I thought I'd be in the mix. I thought it was gonna be like those five, maybe Felicia, you know. But we thought Jag would have a good shot because Jag was just so much more fun in the house than he was on the show. Sure, she'll talk more about Traders than BB since most of the cast has probably seen Traders more than Big Brother. I don't think it matters. You know, I don't think if you're Rachel, you just don't want to really talk about yourself unless people want to talk to you about it. You know, Felicia should have won. The problem with Felicia was like she just wasn't involved enough in the game. Like she was playing hard, but she was such a non-factor where like you couldn't really show her on the show except if it was like a purely character moment. Like she just didn't have enough to do on the show. I will say I'm pretty baffled by how Matt got top three AFP. Putting aside all the Matt's a misogynist stuff, he was just dreadful on the show. And I understand he stayed there for a while and he looks a certain way and he's got a cool story and him and Riley they pushed. Like I could understand why, but damn, like he was a drag anytime he was on screen. Speculating Vince is Paul. Wait, like speculating like they're like playing similarly, or that like Vince is Paul, like they're actually one and the same? Because that's a fun theory. Did any of them even know she was on Traders? I wouldn't be surprised either way. It was Traders season one. That was like the least popular season of Traders too. Like Vince is literally Paul in disguise. I like that. That's a good theory. It's a good theory. I've been watching a lot of A Song of Ice and Fire theories, like the live streams and discussions and stuff. That's like a Song of Ice and Fire theory. Like, Dario is this character. Dario is Euron. It's like, how does that make any sense? Vince is Cody in disguise. Which Cody? Because both ones are pretty insane. Because him being Cody Calafiore would be ridiculous height wise. Him being Cody Nixon would be ridiculous vibe wise. Jack in is Syrio. Yeah, that's a good one. Quaithe is a time traveling Daenerys. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Nah, I think Vince has a great shot this season. I don't know what the fuck. I think them on the roundtable rating Vince a 1 is such a silly. It kind of felt emotionally charged by Taryn, which I don't blame him. He was doing a 24-hour stream. But that was like, it felt like Taryn was just frustrated watching Vince, and then everyone followed on board and gave him a 1. But like, Vince is not in a bad spot at all. I don't think Vince has played well, like, but he's doing totally fine. Like, I think he's closer to a 5 than a 1. It seemed like he was in a worse spot than when he did it. Yes, but he was not in a 1 spot when they did it, you know? Rankings are in large part about how they played that week. I think it's more about like their chances of winning the game, but obviously how they played that week is context in terms of how they're going to play in the future. He got a 2 overall. I just think it's harsh. Going to be live for another about 5 minutes if you guys got any final questions. Any adjustments I'd make to the power rankings? I don't know. I'd probably move like. Honestly, I would do like this. But knowing Vince's playstyle, probably not. Maybe like this. I think I would just drop Lauren down. Like, just frankly, like, Lauren hasn't done anything to deserve to be in contender. Rachel frontrunner positionally doesn't make sense, but I just have more faith in her than these two. If anything, I'd move Zach up for Rachel. I just like the conversation Zach had today. But I think this would still be my list. Tweet of Lauren Adrian saying that people yearn for Americory. Nope, I haven't seen any tweets, and my life is better for it. I heard Twitter's been miserable this season. Which is not that surprising. Any showmances you see happening soon? I think Zach and Lauren's the most likely. Zach likes Lauren, and Lauren has flirted with Zach. Maybe she's just a flirty person. But we'll see. Moving to Boston in about 2 weeks. Thanks, Freckles. You think Ashley and Zach? I just think they're too not connected, like allies was. Will has a chance. I've loved Will today. I think Will's done a great job. He just keeps getting brought into things and not doing too much. It's pretty simple. Lauren does not like Zach. I have not gotten the sense that Lauren hates Zach or dislikes Zach. I haven't seen Lauren express the same interest in Zach that Zach has in Lauren, but I think people are being dramatic, like being super confident that it wouldn't be a thing. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys remember Matt and MJ? You guys remember that? Now, you know, give it 6 months. We'll see. But no shade. It feels like it's been odd. Lauren straight up said today it's not happening. No, I said the same thing. So, but I'll take her word for it. I mean, if she's saying no, then there you go. It's kind of like the Riley and Matt stuff too. Look, if Lauren says no, it's a no until Lauren says yes. So like I'm with you guys. It's just I think it's silly to rule it out. You know what I mean? Lauren makes it further than Zach. I'll be so happy. Well, that means she has to make it at least to the final 8. So Morgan and Catherine are my crack ship of the season. Yeah, I don't have much of a read on Catherine. I really have nothing to say about her. She's like the one, and I said this preseason too. She kind of gave me nothing preseason. So far, she's giving me nothing on the show or the feeds. I got nothing. What about Adrian? What about him? Catherine could be a villain eventually. Yeah, I could see it. Just she looks a little too much like Christmas in her cast photo. Rachel told Ashley and Amy to get rid of Zay, but they think Zay will keep them safe. But Zay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Zay's campaign worked on Ashley, like hook, line, and sinker. With Amy, I'd be kind of curious to see Rachel and Amy have a one-on-one because I think Rachel would be able to set her head straight, but I'm not certain. How'd Catherine get cast? Yeah, that was kind of my thing. I don't get it. You know, like I understood Leah being cast a lot more because she has a funny voice and like she seems a bit more like an airhead and like I could see more potential in like the DR. I don't see the Catherine thing. She's the typical attractive girl and she's actually kind of funny. I haven't seen the humor yet. I'm sure I will. But like they don't have like a shortage of conventionally attractive women to pick from. I have nothing against her. Like it's my complaint is a bit boring. That's not. There's a lot worse than boring. Yeah, the 4 cams in one scene is a classic. Do you think Leo is good at the game? No. I don't think that's a popular opinion that she was good at the game. Like, was she one of the top half players in 26? Yeah. You could make a case for top 5. That season was rough. Like, but I think Leah was pretty actively bad the entire time. Automod is going a bit crazy. I thought she was better than Quinn. I don't. I think Quinn played a better game than Leah. I don't know. I think he did, which is kind of crazy. It's just like people forget because she didn't end up going home, but she was so bad on a week to week basis for the first like 8 weeks. Like always tossing all of her allies under the bus for people who didn't give a shit about her. Always being on the bottom, always being an inch away from being nominated and then being saved due to nothing she did. She wins HOH. I think she actually does okay there, getting rid of T-Core. Not ideal, but it wasn't that bad. And then she gets fucking put up by Mackenzie. Quinn's game was not that good. I'm sorry. I totally agree. What do you mean? We're rating these two games against each other. The thing about Quinn was like strategic decision making. He made the wrong decision almost at every point, but he was pretty good socially and had good relationships. Who were Leah's good relationships? Quinn and Joseph, and that's it. And she actively tried to burn her relationship with Quinn the entire season. Maybe she had a good relationship with MJ, but she was backdoored by MJ. Angela, yeah, I'll give you Angela. That's true. But I feel like Quinn had a good relationship with basically everyone except Tucker. You know, social game matters a lot. Like Leah wins that season 0 out of 100 times. Quinn wins a lot more than that, even with how they were playing. Like, they're gonna yell at them for juggling. Do you think a passive or active player is winning this season? Active. Passive players don't win often. Who's the last passive player to win Big Brother? I mean, like, Casey, I guess. I would consider Casey passive. X, kind of. I wouldn't really consider X super passive. How would you rank Angela's game compared to the 26? Probably like the third worst. She's better than Kenny, better than Lisa, better than Matt, probably. Fourth worst. I think she's worse than everyone else. Her and Tucker, I think Tucker had a much better shot of winning, but you know. Jimmy and Will showmance, you like that? So yeah, it'll be an active player. Passive players, it's hard for them to win. If you and America made it to Final 2, was there an agreement of who would take the win? How do you think the vote works in the end? It wouldn't be me and America's call. No. America and I never agreed on anything like that. When there's a veto up for grabs, we're both arguing. But I would not come to a conclusion. I would say, let's let the jury decide, America. And then, who knows what would happen. I think if I tried really hard in the questioning to throw to America, I don't know if I could have. I think I would have to go, like, be, like, super xenophobic or, like, racist in my speech. I think that'd be, like, the only the only successful way of swinging the votes. You could say she was controlling you. I don't think they'd believe that. Because it would also be like, what is Cory doing right now? You know what I mean? Like, people would just be confused. It would be funny. I like that premise of the final two just decides amongst themselves who's going to win. The money was coming home regardless, that scenario. Let's be real. America and I were super close at that point. We said we loved each other and everything. But, like, it wasn't going into our joint bank account, if that's what you guys thought. Like, whoever got the money, that would be their money. And maybe they'd contribute a bit more to rent, but final two should do rock, paper, scissors. Boy, do I have the season for you. All right, but I gotta go to bed, y'all. I gotta tuck America in. I'm gonna be doing the live feed update tomorrow with Taryn at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So I'll see you guys. The Amazon finale will be posted Friday. We took a week off, but it's a double episode on Friday, so we'll get that going. And we're going to be doing the live eviction reaction on Thursday. I'm going to take tomorrow off streaming because we're going to do a long stream on Thursday. You're raiding Puya? I'd be happy to raid Puya. I haven't raided Puya in a schminute. So tell Puya I say hi. I'll go upload the podcast now in DAO. It'll probably take like an hour and a half. All right. Appreciate you guys. Fun.